Hey, good afternoon, and welcome to Titan Talk. You got me, Lieutenant Coop, and our local talent, Lieutenant McFarland, here today.
Yeah, buddy.
We've even got our second special guest back because he enjoyed his time with us so much. We got ourselves Lieutenant Roses with us, so thank you for joining us again today.
Yep.
So today we're just going to give a little bit of an update throughout the weekend, kind of see how everybody did on management side, and then kind of just go from there. So, guys, any updates from the weekend?
Nope. I just hope everybody had a good weekend. Weather's getting a little bit better, so I spent some time in the pool. Had to go out of town for some stuff I had to take care of, but other than that, it was a pretty good weekend. So, what about you, Roses?
Yeah, about the same. Do we want to go over any of our incidents that happened with Titan over the weekend, or?
I don't think we had anything major.
Sure. Do you have something you want to bring up?
It's a fairly quiet weekend.
And you just said the word, so.
Yeah. Shouldn't have said it.
Nope. I'm trying to think. I don't think anything super Titan related. I know we still have the daily pay. People are still having issues with that, so make sure you guys know who to reach out to. That's going to be daily pay. There should be some, I believe there's an email, and then I think we sent some messages on eHub and Lighthouse about how to contact daily pay, because most of the questions you're going to have are going to be able to be answered by daily pay. We can help you to an extent, but sometimes it's better just go straight to the source.
There should be some documentation in your guys' emails, along with on eHub in the documents area, that provide phone numbers and stuff like that. You guys can reach out to on that. I do want to say on Friday, I do want to apologize. We did not have a podcast. I myself was at range. Lieutenant McFarland was dealing with some personal issues.
I was out of town.
By the time I got back, it was just I was out in the sun all day and everything, so it was a little much. So I do apologize that we didn't have a podcast, but I appreciate everybody joining us today. Billy says, "Welcome back, Roses." Charles, good afternoon. Good to see you here.
We should be back to normal schedule this Friday, though.
Yes.
I don't know if we're going to have another guest or who. We'll probably have somebody. I like the three-person dynamic. It gives you guys more people or access to more people than just me and Lieutenant Coop. So we'll probably have somebody. We don't know who for sure. I was thinking maybe Instructor Sparks would be fun to have.
He would be a good one to have. Billy, yes, to answer your question, daily pay, I don't know if it's a question or a statement, but daily pay does charge, and those are charges by daily pay. There's the $2 for next day, and then it's $4 for the same day, I believe.
Yeah, I don't know exactly what the numbers are. It's not a super, it's not a lot, but I do want to make it clear that Titan, that we have nothing to do with that.
Yeah, those are not by us. Those are directly by daily pay. And yes, they are excuses, and they will work just fine for me today. So that's where we're going to go with that.
Excuses?
For why we didn't have podcast on Friday.
Oh. Well, it's good to know that we're loved.
Yes, absolutely. It's good to know that we were missed.
Yes, that too.
I think they just like berating us.
Yeah, it's the one time they can get away with it for the most part. I know our boss will probably be chipping in on that. I think he's at a meeting with one of our clients, so he said he'll get on and yell at us later. What about anything new in the PRN world?
No, other than just it keeps
going
coming.
1,000 miles an hour.
It keeps coming, so yeah.
It's good.
I say with the PRNs, that's kind of something that's always going to change almost on a daily basis, though.
Absolutely, and that's something we talked about last week. It's just you never know, and just the PRNs are constantly ready and do what they can to help the clientele
And help them mitigate that, so
Absolutely.
it's not so painful.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and it's been nice for us for startups. So,
Yeah, absolutely.
Because we have somebody that we know is reliable and it's going to be squared away day one versus before we were kind of farming out to whoever we could. So I know some schedule changes are coming up. I know some schools are starting back up.
Yep.
So if you guys have worked a school in the past and we're doing something else temporary, please reach out. Let us know about your. I think most of that's done.
Most of that's done. The schools did start back up. I think they're doing a little bit of part-time today, and then they kick back full this week.
Yeah, I know a couple are full-time next week. They're kind of doing the half days, which I never had as a kid. This is the day you went back to school, and it was back in full
I was going to
force.
say it's kind of nice to see some of these, they're providing more of a let's ease in instead of like, hey, here's your first day. You got to have 55 pounds of books in your locker. Will fit 2 pounds of it. You got to carry the rest with you.
20 pounds of Elmer's glue and colored pencils, and I had to always have the name brand so you don't get made fun of.
No, I never had name brands. Dollar General all the way.
Absolutely.
I weasel out the name brand stuff. And you got your cool. Well, at least for me, I always got a new pair of shoes every school year because I was hard on my shoes. So I was fortunate. I'm not going to complain. I'm not going to say I wasn't. But it was always fun. Get the fresh kicks out. Back when I played basketball, so there's usually some sort of basketball.
Well, that's
shoe.
why though. You get new kicks because you did good in basketball.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they didn't have auto shop until high school, so I couldn't start doing good then until then.
Got your first pair of Red Wings.
Yeah, actually, first pair of Red Wings freshman year.
The great, we're not sponsored by Red Wings.
No,
I wish we were, but they're
The only problem
great
is
set
they
of
don't
boots.
they don't sell them black.
No, they don't have. It's mostly the brown leather or that tan leather.
Phenomenal boots though.
Phenomenal.
You know, I'd love to get a sponsorship from Danners. Danner
Yeah.
boots.
Yeah, I got the new Oakley Patrols. I just got those. I was a big Rocky boot guy. I'd go through about one pair every 2 years. That was back when I was on patrol, so I was a lot harder on it. But these new Oakley ones are good. They don't have the side zip, so I really probably didn't think about that enough. I mean, there's probably a good couple hours worth of time a year that I spend just tying my boots that I don't get back. I don't get that back, so it's unfortunate, but it's a good boot. People are listening. What brands do you guys like?
Oh yes,
Be a
please
good one.
let us know what brands you guys prefer, because we always looking for a good boot to be able to recommend to everybody.
Yeah, especially for the new officers, they don't always. I mean, sometimes it's the first time they've ever had a pair of boots. And when it comes to police work and law enforcement, I've learned over the years one of the most important parts of your rig or your gear is your boots, because you're on your feet a lot. Sometimes a good portion of our shifts are completely standing.
6 to
the
8
entire time,
hours.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, at least. And so a good tip for the new officers or any officers that are getting new boots, take both pairs with you to work. Take a little duffel bag. Most of our sites have break rooms. You can keep that stuff or keep it in your vehicle. Wear your new boots for like the first couple hours and then throw your old boots on.
Yeah,
It'll
break 'em in.
It'll save your
Yeah.
feet, and you can slowly kind of wean into the new boots. So you're
Billy says whatever Walmart has.
well,
The one thing I did learn from Walmart, I always used to recommend that when I was running the store more in depth, when I was scheduling managers, I always tell people go to Walmart and buy the cheapest pair you can at first, for the first set. But I've come to learn over the time telling people that you get what you pay for.
Sure.
And sometimes, yeah, it's nice having that $40 pair of boots, but you'll probably get like 3 or 4 months out of them.
Yeah,
and then
maybe.
Now
Your
you've
back
got to
will
invest.
hurt.
Yeah, now you've got to invest a little bit more. So it's usually a good idea to suffer through with what you have, and then save up some and get a decent pair of like $110 boots.
Yeah, the $100 range is usually pretty good. I mean, I spent more, I spent less, but if you can get a good pair that you like, look into it. Side zipper's nice because it takes a 5 to 10 minute
Convenience.
boot process to 30 seconds to get your boots on. You're running behind or something. So I would say what the $150 range is usually pretty safe. I mean, if you're going to $300-$400, you're probably just overpaying at that point. Now, construction stuff like that, you're gonna see that more common. But as far as security goes, I know 511's a good brand. Oakley, the ones I have are good. Rockies makes a good boot. There's another brand.
511.
You're 511. I
Yep.
need to get your 511.
I
Under
was-
Armour is not terrible.
They're
The
not.
quality's not as
I said
good.
I've had a pair of Under Armour boots. They were nice. They fit, like the sole was real nice, but they tore apart in just like 6 months.
Yeah, when I played football, I used to get their cleats, and I went back to Adidas after one season of having those because the soles just completely fell out.
Yeah.
I've just heard. Sorry, Under Armour. I've heard all their clothing or their gear, like their shoes, their gloves, stuff like that, is just kind of a lesser quality.
No, I will say I have a pair of Under Armour gloves, and they're one of the best pairs of gloves I've ever owned.
Okay, well then that might not be true about the
So
gloves.
the boots, again, sorry, Under Armour, but the boots are a little.
Yeah, there's shoes
iffy.
and boots, I think, and cleats that they kind of fall apart.
Lieutenant Roses, what's your favorite brand? What's your go-to for that?
It's either 511 or I guess outside of work it's Nike. It's always Nike.
Nike.
Yeah, but Nike's one of those brands that you can always turn to no matter what.
Yeah, right.
the
But
most
you're going to
part.
also drop $150
Easily,
Yep.
easily.
every single pair.
Yep.
Billy, that's what Billy wanted to know is your favorite. So 511 and Nike, Billy. And then Anthony says 511 insoles are the best out of the box. Now, he's not wrong on that. Some of the boots that they offer personally are a little, like, not this sole, but the I guess the sole, the rubber underneath
Mm-hmm.
tears out pretty easy depending on the boot style.
The 511s?
Mm-hmm.
See, I've
But
never
the-
owned a 511 pair.
I've always liked the insole where you're actually inside the boot has always been real nice for me for
Yeah.
511.
Yeah, the Oakleys aren't that's one thing I noticed, not the best. You and I worked that temp gig the other day, and a lot of concrete standing, and my shins and feet were a little sore after that.
Wasn't that like only 4 hours?
It was like 5, and it was 110 degrees out.
I mean, it wasn't that bad, but it was 4.5, 5 hours, and
If you weren't in the shade and you wear gear, I mean 20 pounds of gear, it was warm. Thank you, sir.
for you, those of you wondering that, we just had one of our IT guys deliver Lieutenant McFarland's tablet
Can you reach
because
it?
he has a hard time with that stuff.
Yeah, I can't read without my glasses, which I don't have. Bring it.
I did want to bring up
I don't know if it even got fixed.
probably not.
No. Yep. We're in business. Go ahead. Sorry.
We do have a temp coming up here in the first week of September that we're going to need some help with from I think either one or both of you guys are going out to that Orchlands event in Moberly.
Absolutely.
So that's right outside of Columbia. So it's a big old festival that we're having. So
It's reported there's going to be like 3 to 4,000 people, isn't
yeah,
it?
absolutely. So we used to do this, and Lieutenant Coop, feel free to jump in on this because I know you did it before my time. We did it almost every year before COVID, right?
Yeah, so we did it every year for 3 years, and then COVID hit, and they shut it down for 2. The first year of COVID, they're like, we think we're still going to have it, and it wound up being like 1,500 people
Yikes.
were like positive, and they're like, never mind, we're canceling the whole thing. And worst part about that is they'd already spent a ton of money
Oh, yeah.
starting to get the stuff set up and stuff like that, so they took a complete loss on that. But this year he reached back out and he was like, hey, we're going to have the event and we'd love to have you guys back.
Yeah, that was
And
an
it's-
easy sell.
Yeah, very easy. But Orchlands is extremely fun. It's one of those ones where you get I think it's 19 officers that go out.
Yeah, we're going to have 19
Yeah.
officers this year. We'll need I'm going to rent some buses.
Are you going to be there?
I will, yeah. So
I think if I don't go to NASCAR, I'll be there. Because I think NASCAR's the day before.
Well, you're going to this either way, so.
We'll see.
But yeah, if anybody's interested, let me know. It's going to be like a 9-10 hour shift during the day, and then we'll shuttle back afterwards that night.
Say total time, it usually the last 3 years that I was part of it and I ran the whole, and I did that, it usually wound up being a total of 16 hours between driving there, doing the event, and then getting everybody back in the van and driving home.
Right.
We get a little bit of time extension with that 16 hours because we stop for food, for fuel,
Right.
make sure everybody doesn't get leg cramps sitting in the buses the entire time.
Well, it's not that bad of a drive either.
No.
We've got in-laws out there. We make that trip quite often. It's only a 2.5 hour drive max. You
Yeah.
know, so, but if anybody's interested, reach out to me. You can call me, email me. We'll definitely get some people signed up for that.
Perfect.
Looks like Billy said there's a big sale at Nike.
Yeah.
That's always nice. They used
Sale.
to have an outlet. Do they still have one out at I think it's the Legends?
I think so.
It's like kind of the odds.
I mean, I
ends.
think we should ask our resident Nike guy here if they still get an outlet out there.
I said I have a preference. I didn't say I could afford it.
Brittany's saying, Brittany
Oh, I know
is saying
Brittany.
it's 3 hours to Moberly. And Billy confirms that the Legends still does have a Nike out there.
Well, whoever that Brittany is, the need to correct what I said wasn't quite necessary, but.
Keep doing it. We love it.
So it's 3 hours. So if anybody's interested in driving 3 hours with the lieutenants out for an event, let
Oh,
us
there's a
know.
3-hour drive involved? Yeah, I'll definitely be going to NASCAR.
No, you're going to this too. I mean, you can go to both.
We'll see. So the new Casey's is not opening as fast as I would like over off Metcalf.
I mean, they're
I
almost.
literally
They're like
drive
three-quarters.
by it every day.
They're like
Right.
3/4 of the way done.
I think they start getting some shelves up, but I don't see any pizza cookers in there yet.
Well,
so.
there's a lot that goes into those, man. They got all the freezers they got to put in. They got to put it, make sure it's all built correctly. Not to mention, it's underneath some pretty expensive apartments too.
Well, then
so
they
you
need
got to
to-
make it look nice.
They need to not put the Casey's sign up until it's ready, because that's not
That
fair.
anticipation is
Yeah, it's
what
not
draws
fair.
in. Well, that fair and what makes it best for practices is different.
True. Fair enough. That's fair.
Billy, you as well. We appreciate you stopping by.
So boot brands, I think we went over that. We can go over some other brands. I actually use our.
How about? I got one for you. Pants. I always get this question: which is the best pants? And there's
511 Strikers.
I was gonna say because
Hands
there's
down.
always somebody who's asking about what's the better pant
Pretty
option.
sure all three of us have those.
Yep.
Yeah.
I was the first one to get them, but it's because I've always really liked the Strikers. I have a few pairs. Most of them are blue now, but before, so they're very. I don't know what material it is, but the True Spec is a good beginner. So
good entry.
You want to wear those that we have here at the office for the first couple months because you're going to want to save up because again it's you get what you pay for when it comes to that kind of stuff. And 511 is not always the most expensive, but they're usually pretty reliable. And the 511 Strikers, I think they're anywhere from like 75 to 90.
I'd say when it comes to price, you kind of got your you got your True Spec, which comes in at your about $50 a pair, which is kind of the bottom of the barrel when it comes to price wise. Then I think you go to your 511s, and that's where you can get anywhere. I think 75 to about 100, depending on the model of pants. I guess is the way to say it.
The Strikers.
Yeah,
I think it's STRYKER. Those are the best bang for your buck. I've had the like 150 ones that have I don't know like different kind of stitching and stuff, and it's really the difference in pay to the quality is not worth it. So, the Striker pants are the best ones to get. I mean, just in my opinion, if anybody else has any other experience with other brands and stuff, there's a lot out there. So,
well, that's kind of what we tell the new hires. Almost every single one, you're going to have to, if you're looking to be here for any extended amount of time, or even the security industry for an extended amount of time, you're going to get a lot of your own gear.
Yeah,
You're going to upgrade it yourself. We offer an awesome rental program that gets us started, and I think most of us probably even joined that when we started with Titan.
Yep.
And
no.
Except for Coop, who was born with all the security things.
Yeah, he's always prepared. He's almost as good as Lieutenant Keaton.
I am not Lieutenant Gain here.
Almost as good.
I've just been here longer.
No, but that's Roses makes a good point. You're going to want to kind of start slowly as you work, and the more hours you get, and get a little extra money to spend on that stuff because it's not cheap, and you don't want to always go cheap with that stuff.
Yep.
And that kind of goes back to the boots. Some of that stuff is you get what you pay for.
Right, like you can get away with like a $20 mag light as a good substitute for a flashlight for a while. Plus the mag lights are just they make good lights, but down the road you can probably step up to the 100, 120.
Nevos,
they got you know a lot about lights. I don't. I was a Surefire guy. My brother was. He actually got me my first flashlight, and so that's kind of the brand I've gone with. I heard those were real good in the late '90s, early 2000s, and now Streamlight
and Nebo are the two.
Nebo are the two top ones.
They've been starting to battle it out.
So do you guys recommend any websites for gear, flashlights, that sort of things?
Ooh, that's a really good question.
A really good one.
I know the one I use, and I'm going to mess it up, so I almost don't want to say. I think it's like tacticalgearsupply.com, something along those lines. I'd have to look it up. And they're based out of Missouri. One of their warehouses is. So like my outer vest that I got was the Condor Defender. And it was at my door within like
Gen
a day.
2.
Yeah,
Wow.
Gen 2. Yeah, the Gen 2 Condor Defender.
I had to look it up recently.
Yeah, that's the one I wear. A lot of people wear Safe Life. Just preference. I'm not a big fan. They don't have most of them don't have a cummerbund. So what that is when you go to strap your vest on, there's no way to stop somebody from pulling that vest open or unvelcroing it, which unfortunately, Officer Greenwald used to work with me. Had happened to his while we were. In a scuffle down at one of our clients or one of our properties. There was a not so nice person there, and they decided they wanted to get physical, and we had to, do what we had to do. And during that struggle, I think the guy had gotten a grip, but he probably didn't even know. He was on some extracurricular substances, so he really didn't know what was going on most of the time. So I don't think he was. Thinking about, I'm going to take this officer's vest off. He just happened to
grab
his hand on it. Yep. And part of his vest came open. And so that was like, ooh, that was an experience that I went through that leads me to think and believe that way. So I don't have it against, I have nothing against that brand. They make a really good ballistics vest. Their outer carrier there's a few tweaks I would do.
Sure.
So those are good things and it's good to bring up on the show because that's going to be some insight that these officers probably haven't had.
So that's kind of where my knowledge unfortunately dims down a little bit is because I've been running the store in some shape, form, or fashion for so long now. The only websites I really know are supply websites for retailers.
Right. And so
the first thing you said when you said that, I was just, I've got a perfect website. but they only sell to retail locations. And I was like, well, never mind.
And Safe Life is a good start for a lot of our officers as well.
And the Intervest. Yeah.
Yeah,
sure.
For either or.
I said for either or, because Safe Life even offers a deal on it. And
that's what I was going to say.
I say when you're on the website for Safe Life, you can actually get the deal. I believe it's a outer, 2 Intervest, the plates, that whole package. I don't want to quote price because I don't actually know, but I do know that if you use the code Titan, and they
so that
verify,
one actually doesn't work anymore.
Oh, really?
So just use the code
Phenomenal.
security.
Oh, phenomenal.
Security gives you the same discount. And then the other great thing about it is for a starting officer, I think I used it when I started, was you don't have to pay it all up front.
Yep.
They will ship it to you immediately,
Right.
and you can make payments on it.
I think it's 4 payments, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just 4
Yeah.
payments that, but it makes it a lot easier. and spread it
Absolutely.
between your paychecks. Use that daily pay and knock it out.
Yep, and that's something that I'm sorry, I was trying to find this website. I
Okay.
can't find the one I used to use, but just Google tactical gear, tactical supply, and you'll find they'll get you in the right direction as far as sticking with those brands. The 511 Condor, that Condor and 511 are pretty good.
The name brand.
Well, and the quality is decent, and you're not going to pay an arm and a leg. So if you're wanting to get gear, mag pouches, handcuff pouches, stuff like that, that's the brands I would go with because you're safe. But to touch back on the bulletproof vest, all our sites allow inners. So,
Every site.
so you can always wear your inner, which they're clean, they look good. Just when I was on patrol, you're getting in and out of a patrol car. Sometimes you have to wrestle with people you don't want to, and so it's your mobility is a lot better with an outer vest. And honestly, at a static site, I'd probably, if I were to do it over again, or if I were to have to go do one, I would lean towards the inner vest because all that gear on you standing the whole time, it really hurts your back. And
Absolutely.
It also, I think, offers a more professional look.
Sure.
Like where the outer vest is nice, don't get me wrong, having it and like that, you're right. Standing for 6 or 7, 8 hours with an outer vest, that extra weight's on your shoulders, it makes it a little bit more painful. But I think when it comes down to what the clients prefer, I think even though a lot of our, not a lot, but some of our clients are approved for wearing outer carries, I think most of them prefer the inner just because of the professional look that it shows.
Yeah, I can only think of like one that wants the outer vest for a more tactical look, and it's the one we talked about the other day. But it's just, you want to be safe at your job, and so that Safe Life Inner Vest is a great start, and there are multiple outer vest carriers you can get down the road. So once you get a little more experience and you can do the research and save up, the actual carriers themselves range from like 60 to 100 and maybe $150. So the most expensive part is
the plates.
The plate, the soft armor. So once you get that, I know Safe Life fits the Condor. I wear GH again, something that's going to potentially save my life. I spent a little bit more money on it, but I was able to. Not everybody's able to. So Safe Life is a great, affordable, reliable, safe vest. And if you go to YouTube or on YouTube, you can look up some of their testing.
Yep.
And they run it through all kinds of rounds, even some rounds that are not rated to be stopped. Sometimes it actually does stop them. So soft armor is going to stop everything.
I also believe that Safe Life themselves are actually on the forefront of technology for body armor. I think they've come up with some new technologies for inners and outers to kind of help mitigate some of the larger rounds that before that soft armor wasn't rated for.
Yeah.
And so being on that forefront of that, being able to say, hey, now not only is this an affordable inner or outer vest, it actually is one of the highest performing ones.
Yeah.
Like you, I have Ghost Armor.
Yeah.
And I like my Ghost Armor. The reason I like Ghost Armor is because it was you can do custom fitting, and so I got my measurements, got it custom fit to me, and where that's nice, at the same time, it was expensive.
Yeah.
And I had saved up for I think over a year to be able to purchase that, and so having that affordable but better technology like Safe Life, I think it is an amazing thing because it didn't exist when I got my vests.
Yeah.
I've been through 2 vests now.
Yeah.
I've been through 2 vests, and
I'm coming up on probably needing to or get a new one because they're only rated for so many years. But
5.
Yep.
Well, that's another thing. If our officers are wondering what's best for them, there's another video that we have. What is it? How to assemble your duty belt.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So that also will show the pros and cons to having all your gear on your belt, which is what you'll have to do if you have an inner vest, and then what the pros are to having it on your outer carrier as well, which our lovely star.
You know, it's funny actually.
You were in that too?
Just
I
you bring
was.
that video up. The two people in that video are actually in our podcast room today.
Yeah. Just had
So
to
who better to
plug that
talk
one.
about gear than the video?
There's huge pros and cons to it, and kind of the last thing on that, I think all of us prefer the outer vest.
Right.
You get all that on your without the vest on your hips like that, it can really mess with your hips, and your nerves and all that.
Well, and the good thing about when the reason a big reason why we do is because there's times where we'll have to go see an officer or go in the field quickly, and I can just throw that thing on real quick,
exactly.
and my gear's ready to go. Stationary sites, typically not the case. So
Or even being out in the field, and all of a sudden now we've got to go see a client, and the client, they don't like that over aggressive.
dress down and grab
exactly.
a polo. Yeah. So
And take the
there's
vest off, and
Mm-hmm.
then
lots
you're ready
of
for a
pros and
client.
cons for sure. There was something else I want to talk about that too, but I can't remember now. So yeah, all that gear stuff is in that video. The Safe Life. The guy that's doing that, I believe, was just like he was a VIP security guy out in like
Mhm.
Las Vegas, and he was at that entry level where he's like, man, I need something that's affordable, and then he went and started doing that full time. So the story behind that's pretty cool. He's just trying to help people because I'm sure he could probably jack his prices up more
Oh, yeah.
and make a lot more money, but
Mhm.
he's trying to help people out. So it's good that we get that word out so our guys can take advantage of it.
Leon, he can't remember what he doesn't want to talk about half the time.
Oh boy,
Leon says it's weird. You
he's
can't
here.
remember what he wants to talk about. Yes, Brittany, it is every video that he does that. He struggles with it every video.
What, forgetting stuff?
Yes.
That's why I'm the talent. I'm like the filler. You guys talk about the important stuff, and I come in and bring in pumpkin spice lattes and
Filler.
Filler. Yeah.
filler. The hand gestures, it's the talent. So
Oh God.
be lost without me.
So I've been saving this question for you guys for a week now.
Oh,
This ought to be good.
I'm on the edge of my seat.
Favorite type of barbecue?
Good
Oh,
question.
that's a dangerous question in this country.
Obviously, Kansas City barbecue, but
Well, I was saying.
there's differences to. If you have to put so much sauce on it because it's dry, then it's not good barbecue. There's got to be a good balance.
Absolutely.
And to be completely honest, kind of being conceited here, I think I cook some of the best barbecue.
Okay,
Oh,
no.
I
We're
agree
we're
with
we're,
that.
we're not we're taking our personal stuff out.
Wow.
This is professional grade. Really, the only one here. No, not even Roses could tell
Kansas
us.
City Joe's, which is formerly Oklahoma Joe's, the gas station.
The best barbecue sauce in the city, hands down, is Bryant's Barbecue.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's all right.
non-debatable.
It's all right. It's too thick.
You gotta have a good brisket.
Have you ever had
Leon
Blues-
says, "What a show-stopping question."
It's a phenomenal question.
Phenomenal.
Phenomenal. Have you had Blues Hog? It's at most grocery stores.
Nope.
It's the because I'm not a big thick sauce fan.
I
like
wasn't a
runnier.
huge fan of it.
I'm a huge fan of that stuff. It's got
It
like
wasn't-
a.
it
Sweet,
was good.
It's got some sweet flavor to it.
Brittany says Oklahoma Joe's has some of the best barbecue sandwiches.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she's
the
never
bur-
even been there.
The burn ends at KC Joe's now. It's or Oklahoma Joe's, whatever they changed their name to. The burn ends there are hands down the best I've ever had, and I've had
They're
a lot.
pretty-
I've had a lot of burn ends.
Q39 has some good burn-ins.
Yes, Q39 Jack Stack's not bad. We
Jack
actually
Stack?
have one right.
I've
by
never
our
been to
office.
Q39.
Jack Stack's sides are the best.
Yeah, by
Their
hands
barbecue's
down.
not the greatest. It's a little pricey.
Yes, Leon, he should have a pointy hat and be sitting on a shelf.
Yes. Yes, there were no shelves available. So I
Technically, that desk lifts.
But it doesn't go any further. We couldn't get it this way without
Closer to Christmas, we will have him dress up like Elf on the Shelf.
Absolutely, Brittany.
We'll have to.
Brittany, you're gonna have to tune in on that one closer to Christmas, where we'll have him dress up as Elf on the Shelf for you guys.
Get a little
Make that happen. Rosy cheeks.
rouge, what do they
Mhm.
call it? Yeah. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Got a normal week ahead of us. That the temp gig is, you said, the end of this month, or no, beginning of next month.
Well, look at
Yeah,
me.
That's right.
Oh, we're
You're
talking.
the one that knows it though.
This is Orso's?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so it'll be the
Orson's not
beginning,
Sutherland's.
the first weekend of September.
Okay.
So
Yeah. All right. That I knew that because that's
Yep.
when the NASCAR race.
we'll probably need an additional 9 or 10 regular officers to go out there with us. So
And those temp gigs usually pay pretty well. So if you're listening,
absolutely,
don't hesitate to reach out to Corporal Perkins.
reach out to me on that one.
Oh, okay.
Reach out to me on that one.
Gotta take
so.
care of the big ones. Let him do this one.
Perkins is plenty busy. Plenty busy.
Oh yeah, he is for sure. But other than that, I don't know if we got people watching, questions or anything, comments. Leave
Yeah.
them below.
Except for
Visit-
Leon.
Yeah.
Leon's watching. Brittany's watching. No, definitely. If there's any officers out there and you guys have favorite gear, put it in the comments. Let everybody else know. So
Yeah, if somebody has their own brand,
we can all judge you on it.
Maybe not maybe not as well known. You have a brand that you wanna let us know about. We're open to ideas.
There, how about this, Leon? You're watching now. What's a good boot brand that you've seen over the years that you might
He's gonna
recommend?
say Danners.
I know he's going to say Danners. That's his boot. Is Danners. That's him and Sparks both. Yeah, absolutely.
Sparks has like the SWAT boot.
Probably because
goes
they
all the way up to the toe.
They probably don't make them anymore.
Probably
They made them back in the 80s. And
Well, that's you don't. I mean, it's that's
I
a
knew
one
it.
pair of boots, and then the leather lasts forever. You just
Oh, yeah.
you resole them
Sparks-
every 10 years or
I say
so.
Sparks has had his resold just recently, and
Yeah.
even now,
That's what he said.
it's been the best. Leon says Danner. Of course he does.
Bates.
But
Bates
too
is another good
expensive.
one. I've heard of that one.
Bates.
Yeah.
I've seen the brand. I've never actually used
Gary
it.
Gibson, thanks for joining us. Danner, yeah. If you're
If
like
you
a
have the
PRN that
money.
works a lot, you might go for
If,
it.
if you have the money and you can go all out on it, you're not going to get a better boot than Danner. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I love Red Wing. I did construction, water well drilling, and Red Wing was the go-to.
Yep.
But when it comes down to doing what we do, Danner is absolutely the best boot.
One thing we didn't mention before, I would stay away from insulated boots, just because of the heat. It's much easier to layer up with like wool socks and put extra socks, and even put those those foot warmers in there in the winter. But it is a big mistake I made on one of my first pair of boots. They were insulated. I was like, ooh, that's probably a benefit. And no, in the summer, your feet sweat a lot, and you can,
That's
develop,
gross.
and then you develop issues with your feet, and then it's hard to stay on your feet for a long time. So that's one thing I would do: stay away from insulated if you can.
So Leon is also recommending Bates. He said it's good value.
Yeah,
So
Bates
that's
is
good. I've never used
I
them
completely
myself.
forgot
So.
about Bates.
yeah, you got to take that with a grain of salt. You
Oh,
just have to.
Here we go. Floodgates are now open.
let the fight begin.
And that's something we should probably have on here too, is Boss Man. Maybe one of these days, so he can just directly be here to
Give us a hard time.
give us a hard time instead of having to do it over the computer. But go over things that, because he is out in the field too, so we want to address
Says
things.
you're finished.
You're finished. Oh, that's not good.
What is that, 9? I think that's 9 today, boss. So that's good. No, but like I said, guys, if you have any gear recommendations or anything, put them in the comments for everybody, for other officers to see later on.
Yeah, Coop doubles back and checks on these, so he lets me know if there's any comments and stuff. And so we're always looking for topics too. I mean, we'll bring up gear and just casually and stuff, but we're all open to topics that you guys think that, hey, I need more clarification on this. We're doing a good job of kind of addressing it proactively. With the daily pay, we've had a lot of changes lately, but if there's something out there at a site that you're want addressed or anything, let us know.
Yeah, definitely. That's what we're here for. So, but no, so that's some good information that we've got out there with gear and stuff like that. Gary says the Bates ultralights are a great boot for all year round.
Good.
It's good to know. Hopefully, if it's anything like 511, maybe they're probably more. Like I said, I don't have any experience with the Bates. Excuse
It's like a
me.
511.
Good Lord. So I don't know the price point or anything on that, but hopefully it's a moderately valued one, not $100, $150.
If I remember correctly, it's probably a little bit more expensive than a good 511. So
That's not too terribly expensive then.
Because 511 ranges from the GT Tactical or GT Distributors down the street from the office. It's a great store to get gear. They're pretty reasonably priced. If you have your guard card, there's some discount they not necessarily offer, but just kind of include in their pricing. So you have to have that shop there. But they have, you can get $60 boots. It'll last you a couple months.
He's saying about $80 for the Bates. That's not a bad price.
That's not
That's
bad
actually
at
a
all.
pretty good price.
Yeah.
No, that's not bad.
Especially considering he says he's been he's worn them for years. So
Yeah,
That's
if they
pretty good.
last you a couple years and you're on your feet a lot, then they're good.
That's pretty
boots.
good boot.
Yeah.
But yeah, other than that, the week looks kind of normal with weather and everything that way. I don't see anything that's glaringly
Yeah, I think we're
pointing
starting
out.
to see a little tick in the right direction as far as getting rid of the heat. It's Kansas City area, Missouri, Kansas. So in about 2 weeks, we'll probably get back to 110 right before the fall fully sets in. That's just how it works. There was a calendar I saw one time where they talked about like false winter, false summer, and like how they gauged it and like back and forth.
Yeah.
It was pretty accurate. I should find that. But I think we'll see that tick up again. But for now, let's enjoy these cooler days while we can. Other than that, I think that's, like I said, pretty normal week. Nothing crazy this weekend coming up, hopefully, and hopefully everybody has a good week. So it'll be a mystery guest on Friday. It might be Roses again. We don't know. So we'll see.
Might see if we can get Mr. Leon on and have him berate us and live for you guys in person. Who knows?
Sparks would be a good one because Sparks, for those of you that don't know or don't remember or don't work for us, he is the one that trains the new hires. He's one of our instructors, seasoned instructor that's been here a while. So he would be good to have on here to kind of go over kind of what he sees the new guys have issues with. So we can, answer his issues or address any questions he has that would be kind of on behalf of the new guys. Because we don't get that much time with them, unfortunately. So he does. He's their first contact here, and I think that'd be a good person to have on so we could go over some stuff that's kind of hot topics for the new guys.
Yeah, definitely. And again, back to what we said over and over and over again. If you guys come up with topics or think about something that you want us to talk about, put it in the comments, and if it's something that we can approach, we can get on. We'll get it on the next podcast or a podcast coming up, so that way we can get some stuff situated on that, questions answered, or just bring up a general topic. So,
you got anything else to add there, Mr. PRN?
I don't think so.
PRN Whisperer. So
nothing.
No.
Man, you're just making this super easy.
Well, I mean, we can talk about how long it took Leon to respond to every statement we made. That one finger typing.
You also got to remember
it takes time.
There's a little bit of delay.
You can probably hear him typing from where your office is. Just
it takes some time though. It's a process.
A little. I think it's called the hunt and pecker. The one finger at a time.
Hunt and peck, yeah. Yeah, because it's just like every once in a while he'll wrap 2 or 3 together, and I'm like, oh, okay.
That's impressive.
He's learning.
That's good.
Yeah. I can't remember, what was that typing? We probably all had it. That typing game in school.
Oh, man.
Typing Town.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Something like that. At least that's what I had. Yeah. And they put that cover over your keyboard, and so you couldn't see it. And I mean, I would try to look and get yelled at, but they forced you to get good at typing, which I'm glad happened.
Yeah.
Because computers were not near as big as they are now.
It's a newer thing.
Yeah.
So, unfortunately, Leon didn't get to experience that. It's hard to do that with the Rock.
Yeah, it's something similar to that, Leon. Typing Town, something similar to it. I don't think that's the exact name of it, but it was something that was in my
Typing
computer
Town
class.
question mark. Yeah. That might have been the typewriter one they had when he was doing it. Ting. Oh, that's gonna be good. I'm gonna pay for that later.
If you're gonna pay for it now.
What do you say now?
No, I'm just saying. Now you're gonna pay for it.
Give him time. He's got to type.
There's a little bit of delay.
Yeah.
I think it might have been Typing Town.
I'm not 100%
it was like a
sure.
cat. Let's go down to Typing Town. Yeah, I think that's what it is. Typing Town. I don't remember.
I don't know.
You lost me.
Yeah, it kind of. When you attempted to try to sing,
like my favorite. You got that, and then they had Gizmos and Gadgets.
Ooh.
If anybody played that, please comment, because that was a really cool game, and I actually looked up like a YouTube video of it like a couple weeks ago because it just popped in my head out of nowhere, and it was like going down like a time machine. Felt like I was back in school again.
We definitely need the Stooges theme music. That is absolutely true.
Probably. Come on, producer. We need to step up our intros and outros. We need cool music when we come in.
I'm working on it. All right, that's something in the future.
This is week 3 now, and we don't have any music.
Hey, that stuff's hard to do. Okay. Gary says he sees a demotion in someone's future.
Oh, please.
There are 3 of us here, so Gary, it is your guess on who gets it.
Don't threaten me with a good time. Less responsibilities, fantastic. As long as I get to keep the podcast slot.
No, that goes to the next lieutenant.
Yeah. Well, he doesn't have a face for a podcast.
Anyway, I'm going to leave that joke alone.
I don't know if he watches or not either.
Other than that, I don't really have anything else. Lieutenant McFarland, you good?
I think that's it. I think we got one more comment from...
Get off my phone.
Off my phone. You're on our phone.
You didn't say you joined us. That's not how that works.
It's his favorite thing to say.
Get out, yeah.
He calls you just so he can tell you to get off his phone.
Him specifically.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely him.
Yep.
It's a waste of time.
But on that note, with that as well, is Lieutenant Rosas has actually taught Leon how to hang up on you. So he was pretty good about saying, hey, I got to talk to you real quick. And then Rosas would hang up on you on like a Teams meeting or something like that. Because you started doing that with Boss. Now he does it to everybody else. Mm-hmm. And so be like, hey, actually I have one more question. And then he'll hang up.
Well, there's just a real sense of victory when you get somebody on that.
Yeah.
I think I've gotten you maybe once.
The key is, and the way you can tell someone's going to do it is almost everybody.
Hey, check this out.
Looks at the end button
Mhm.
when they do it. So the key is there is you got to look them in the face while you're doing it. You got to be able to use your peripheral vision to see it.
Yeah, slide that mouse right to the end.
Yeah,
Those of us
Brittany,
that-
that's exactly what he does. Hey, guess what? Click.
Yep.
Yeah.
That is
Hey, check this out.
verbatim.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, watch this. But I got him one time because every once in a while he'll have people walking behind him. I go, hey, who's that over there? And he turned around. I turned it off. And then by the time he looked back around, I was gone.
It's pretty
Like
good.
Batman.
It's pretty good.
Like
a
Batman or Superman? Who's better?
Batman.
Batman.
Yep. I
All
agree.
day.
I think we're
And
all
I don't
agreed,
understand
so.
how anybody thinks. I mean, don't get me wrong.
Superman
Superman. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But Batman is Batman. I mean, Batman has a plan for everything.
Well, there's only so much strength money can buy you. Superman just has it.
Yeah.
So,
No, but it's that knowledge.
I would rather be Batman over. Well, I don't know. Flying would be pretty cool.
Batman flies.
Not really. He falls.
He
with style.
glides.
Yeah,
No.
He's like Buzz
flies in a
Lightyear.
He
jet.
falls with style.
Yeah, it's like Buzz Lightyear.
He flies in a jet. Thank you.
He's
Yeah.
like
It's still
Buzz,
flying.
He's like Buzz Lightyear. He just
I'm
kinda
falling
glides.
with style.
Yes.
Brittany says Superman.
Of course she does.
Is it because you like Batman, or
Probably.
is it just
Well,
because you like
definitely,
Superman?
definitely.
And he's got those laser eyes too. Like that's pretty cool. And he's bulletproof.
So is
like, He
Batman.
can't really die. No, he's not. He has money to achieve all that stuff. But you've seen the Batmans. At the end of the
Absolutely.
day, he's all bruised up and banged up. Where Superman just flies into wherever he goes, and he's good to go the next day.
It's true.
I don't know. I still say Batman. Hands down, Batman.
No
So you
question.
think Batman would win in a fight against
there was
Superman?
a movie made?
Yeah, there was-
Yeah,
about
it's
it.
Superman broke his back,
Yeah, but he still beat
He
him.
and
still
I know
beat
that.
him.
I'm not even a comic book guy.
He killed him.
He chose not to kill Superman.
Well, it's because Batman can't kill somebody. It's
No,
like
he
George
can. He
Washington,
chooses
does
not
tell a
to.
lie.
That's the difference between. That's
I
the
think
difference.
I think I walked into the wrong argument.
You
here.
absolutely did.
I mean, trust me, I like Batman more, but if you're gonna be realistic, Superman would just fly into it really fast and rip him in half.
I can't remember the name of the movie.
Batman
but
vs
there-
Superman.
No. There's another one. It's an animated one where they go into the full detail of the actual Batman versus Superman, and there's a part of it where he's using, just like in the movie, using the armored suit and stuff like that. But there's a part where he knocks him down with the
That's
Batman only flies.
Yeah, Batman only flies and Superman throws him.
That's pretty good.
And there was a movie made in Superman.
They
lived.
both lived. But there's
He gets upset about it.
I do.
I love it though.
But there's a full breakdown of it though.
I'm sure there is. I'll never watch it. I'll take your word
Of course
for it.
you won't.
I'll
Brings
take
up,
your word for
starts
it.
the fight and won't even watch the evidence.
What's
to
another
finish it.
big superhero fight?
I
One-
feel
1v1.
like Leon would be Mr. Freeze. Remember Mr.
Is
Freeze?
it because he's bald?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You should have known that was coming.
Yeah.
They didn't even wait to ask.
Yeah, but he's usually more red than he is blue.
That's true.
So
Yeah.
it would be like a red. He's like Bane.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's a good one.
I'll give him
Reminds
that.
me of Bane.
Yep. Or Robin, just because.
You are
Ooh.
definitely the Robin of the
He'd be a
group.
good Robin.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fine. Yeah.
Yeah. Just a cute little sidekick.
Better looking.
I don't know. Val Kilmer was good looking, and so is George. I mean, every guy that's played Batman is a good looking guy. Christian Bale. Well, I think the best Batman, though, if we're going to go there since we're on topic,
Oh, don't do this.
Oh God.
Unless you say Christian Bale, it's just not debatable.
Michael Keaton was
my
fantastic.
God.
He was phenomenal. Not only did Tim Burton direct the movie, so it had a cool, dark, which I only realized that like a couple of days ago. I
He
didn't know
was
Tim
not
Burton
trained
directed
by
those.
Ra's al Ghul. Like,
Modern Batman, yes, but like the old, cool, like Batman as a kid, I was obsessed with Batman growing up. Like I literally had all the Batman toys. I was fortunate, but that's the Batman I remember. You know, Val Kilmer was decent, and it had Nicole Kidman in it, so I mean, of course you're gonna watch it. But Michael Keaton, the Batman with the Penguin, and then the Joker.
I mean, don't get me wrong. He's a good Batman, but he is by far not the best.
I think they said he's gonna actually make a new one.
no way.
I
No,
think
there's
so.
no way.
Yeah, look it up. Somebody's gonna know that. Somebody out there in the interwebs. Batman only flies. That's actually really fun.
That actually really is.
That's gonna be the quote of the day. Batman only flies if Superman tosses him or throws him, sends him. So other than
No,
that,
he actually doesn't know anything about Batman.
who, me?
Yeah, Brittany says she doesn't think you know anything about Batman.
What? No, I don't know anything about like the nerd Batman. I know about like the cool
You mean
Batman.
the true to comic?
He's like the guy that like on a classic car. He goes, I don't want AC. I don't want power steering. It's like, then why? Like I like the creature comforts of the future. And he's like the purist, where if he sees like a car,
Depends on
this
the
is just
car.
an example.
No, you're not wrong, but it depends on the car.
Just you in general, you're a purist. You like
Yeah.
things the way they are, and that's
I like things the way they're supposed to be.
I would agree.
When it comes to comics, cars, stuff like that, if it's not how it's originally written, or like I said, and it depends on specifically with cars, it really depends on the car. I had a
that was just an example.
I had a
so people know.
1970. It didn't have air conditioning when it was supposed to, and I did put it in because I like the creature comfort.
Wow.
But it also only did 40 miles an hour, so it's not like I could speed up and roll the windows down and get cooler. So
Was it a car that did 40? Was it a lawnmower?
no, it was a truck.
Like my lawnmower can do like almost 30.
Yeah, but I bet your lawnmower couldn't pull a stump out of the ground.
No, probably not.
Yeah,
And it doesn't have AC either.
and my truck did.
Try to go fast enough. But yeah, no, I still think Superman would technically win in a fight.
If you count pure strength, yes, Superman will win. But there's more that goes into it.
Batman's cooler.
There's more that goes
give him
into
that.
it.
He's got cooler cars. Superman doesn't really need a car, but yeah.
That's why he drives a Corolla.
Superman's disguise is also garbage. It's
It's
literally just
a
glasses.
pair of
Yeah, it's a pair of
glasses.
glasses
Yeah, I mean-
and like a plaid shirt and a red tie.
Wait, there's actually a full breakdown on that too.
Oh,
it
I'm
just
sure
doesn't
there
make
is.
sense.
I'm sure there is. We don't need
Well,
to
it
go
doesn't
there.
make. I'm not going to, but I'm just saying, like to me the full breakdown of like how his disguise works, just I don't understand it. It's technical and it's just like one of those like that doesn't make any sense to me.
Just like most of the comics. I just like watching the movies.
My problem with movies versus comics or books, you don't get the full story.
I don't need it.
Yes, you do.
I
It's
got-
important.
I got other things I got to do for the 5 hours that those comics and those comic movies try to explain. Like, they released the Avengers or whatever, like the new movie. They have like 17 movies coming out in the next like 40 years.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
It's
of course.
ridiculous. Like,
Mhm.
just
how they make
kill
money.
the story by now. Yeah, I mean that's honestly that's the only thing it really is they just keep pumping money out. But like, there's got to be an ending somewhere tonight. One of my
It was
favorite
supposed
shows.
to be. It was called Endgame.
Well, you know, and that's the other thing with those shows. It's like this curse can never be undone, and then the next movie they're undoing it. Like, and so they end
Curse
it.
the Mummy.
Whatever. Yeah, I don't know. It's a mummy, or like this character dies, and then they go to this portal and get him back somehow, even though like they said it can't be done. And you can only do that so many times before I'm like, oh, what are you gonna make up next to revive your character so you can sell another couple $100 million worth of movie tickets?
Another 2 movies, 10 books,
Yeah, exactly.
$300 million plus dollars.
That's right.
That's outrageous. But like I was saying, Better Call Saul is a really good show about Breaking Bad. It's the lawyer.
Mm-hmm.
The series ends tonight, and I'm happy. I'm excited to have an ending, so it's not just more just trying
I will
to put
say
another
some.
movie
I will
out.
say some TV shows and movies take it too far.
Yeah.
I will agree to that. There's been a couple of them. It's like you're 12 seasons in. It's the same stuff with just a new crew, and you're just like, just end it.
Perfect example, and I stopped watching it. Was The Walking Dead.
Mhm.
I got to like
Absolutely.
season 4, and
Yeah.
I was like, all right, dude.
We're done.
Yeah.
The guy with the bat that first season.
What?
Negan.
What?
Yeah.
What got
They're
me?
still going.
Yeah.
Mhm.
What got me is like specifically about like Walking Dead. I loved watching the show.
Sure.
It got to the point where all of a sudden now they've got this military hardware. They're driving out with tanks and hell. It's like no, that's not how that works. Like
Yeah.
you can't just be like, oh look, we're gonna take this now. It's like you
Yeah, the guys
can't.
that had that to begin with are probably going to keep it
Yeah.
as long as they can.
So, but that's like stuff like that. That's where when I understand there's some fantasy to stuff like that, but when you start
Sure.
breaching into not necessarily the impossible, but like the highly improbable of that type of situation, it ruins it.
Yep.
Like, there's fantasy to it, absolutely.
Well,
But-
there's that suspension of disbelief, which would lead you to have a conversation about how to kill a zombie. They don't exist, so you really can't have the conversation.
Right.
But you got to put yourself in that situation so you can actually make it believable. And at the same time, there's people saying that those zombies, after a couple of months, especially in the hot summer, they would decay.
Well,
like, so why are they still
the
roaming
thing
around?
used
Like,
to
how does
drive-
that work?
It used to drive me nuts as they'd be walking through the woods. Then just all of a sudden they look over their shoulder and they're right on.
Right,
Like,
yeah.
come on, guys.
See
It's
that
not
guy
like they're
going up?
sneaking.
You
through.
were you were a half mile ahead of
Yeah.
them,
You can
walking
smell
quietly.
them before you can see them.
Yeah.
I would imagine. But no, that was a good example. They take it too far, almost like this episode of the podcast. I think we're going a little long here. So
I think
So
my
that-
stomach's growling.
we'll need to break down some Chiefs football here soon.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh,
That's
no.
a great,
Yeah, Cooper
great
will love
idea.
that.
So that leads me into a quick
That
little
will
30
be
seconds here.
That will
of-
be a podcast where the cameras do not point anywhere near me.
No, absolutely. I think that's a really good idea. I'm
That's where you
pretty
hit home
excited.
runs, right? Football.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Didn't you tell him one of the temp games we
Yeah.
worked that
Yeah, you did.
a field goal was an interception? And he goes, that was a really good interception. He
No,
said that out
it
loud.
wasn't. It was It was one of the scores. It was.
It was a,
I can't remember what it was now.
it was a field goal.
Was it? Yeah.
Yeah.
I
It was a
was-
field goal, and you told them that it was called an
So,
interception.
Yes.
so let's put some stuff here. I have zero idea about sports. I'm cars, guns, stuff like that. I have zero idea how sports works.
Let me break this down really quick. So I
And
told
Roses
Coop
lied
that-
to me
Yeah, I told him
to make himself feel better about something.
Well,
No, to
no,
give me a laugh.
I knew what would happen, so I told him, "Man, that was a good interception." So then he had a little bit of knowledge about football.
He was gonna take it and
ran
use
down to McFarland. He was like, "Man, did you like that interception?" And
go, "What?"
McFarland just couldn't help. but laugh.
Absolutely berated me.
Yeah. No, I didn't. I go, did Roses tell you that? And he goes, yeah, that was an interception. That was a field goal. And so for those of the rest of the world that knows football, they're laughing as much as I was probably. But I didn't give you a hard time. I said, Coop, it's not your fault. You shouldn't have listened to Roses when he told you what
And I
anything
haven't-
was.
And I haven't listened to him about anything sports related since.
Your wife doesn't know how to spell my name. It's a hard one to spell. It's fair.
Yeah. Well, you also thought my daughter was a boy, so
Well,
All right.
I did lose that bet. I'm doubling down on the next one. Not because I didn't see, no, that's not, there's context to that. I wanted you to have a boy because who doesn't want a boy? And you wanted a girl, which I think is wonderful. And she's adorable, and I know she's a girl, but I didn't want to lose the bet, so I just kept calling her a boy.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it didn't work.
Brittany says
well,
it was swipe text.
that's right. No,
No,
I'm giving you a hard time, Brittany. It's okay. It's LIN for future reference, though, so please
Ooh,
get it
did
right.
you get an E in?
No, LAND.
Ooh, I'll take
Which
care
is
of that.
that's common.
I'll take care of it.
Yeah, an EN would be, I would be concerned for her spelling, but
Yeah.
but no. So there's a show called Hard Knocks. I'm trying to get my boss to watch. It's a great show. They follow a team every year, and this year they're doing the Lions, which I was like, I don't care about the Lions, but the coach Ben Coleman is just a unit of a
Yep.
human being, and
Yep.
so he's really fun to watch and interact. And I use it to kind of apply some leadership skills to the field, to our officers. I mean, because
Real quick, are we going to start this now? Because if we are, I'm going to move this back camera to where it focuses on you two, and then I'm going to get up and go.
No, I said 30 seconds, and so it's just you can really apply how organizations like that works for the GM to the head coach to the trainers to a company like us, you know, that has a similar goal. I tell my boss all the time, and I use football analogies left and right. But at the end of the day,
That's true.
At the end of the day, we have a game to win, and that's what the football teams do. They try to, try to win games, and there's just a lot of things you can apply. So it's cool to see that and see. I was fortunate to have really good coaches growing up and have really good leaders around me, and it just makes you want to be a better person and makes you want to help people. And so seeing that stuff, if you have HBO, I think most T-Mobile people have it for free. So if you didn't know that, now you do. Just log in and you can watch. I think the episodes are on Tuesdays. So it's just, this is my favorite time of year, fall. But it's football season too. So
Yep.
charcoal and tailgating and football games. So I'm excited, and we'll definitely have to start breaking down some football, maybe
Yep.
some college ball. So
That's it. I'm canceling the podcast.
We can maybe do Wednesdays or something. Do that. It's the middle of the week.
No. All right. Well, I think that's all we've got, other than more topics that will go on forever and ever and ever. We can bring up another time. So I appreciate everybody joining us today. I want to thank Lieutenant Roses for joining us as well. Thank you for coming out and suffering with us a second time. We'll probably pull you in again and again, over and over again, just to
every
give someone
week
him to talk to about
Chiefs
football.
Yep.
So I
Guaranteed.
appreciate everybody joining us today. Lieutenant McFarland, thank you for being with us again as well.
Always, thanks for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
We will see you guys next week. Again, questions, comments, or concerns, please put them in the comments. I try to check those every couple of days so that way I can keep up on that stuff. If you guys have topics or if you guys have recommended gear for each other, put it in the comments. Let us know. Let each other know. That's what this is about, is to get that chat going so that way we can all kind of get together collectively as a team. So we appreciate it. We hope you guys enjoy the rest of your week, and we will see you guys Friday at 2 p.m.
God willing, we'll be back. Thanks, guys.
Appreciate it.